Welcome to the Deep Dive. We've been looking at a stack of sources today that, honestly, they paint a really clear picture of the sheer scale of AI right now.
It's almost overwhelming.
It is. It's a story about power, and I mean that in two ways: electrical power and political power, and the breakthroughs that all that power enables. I'm Amin.
And I'm Leah. And you're right, that framing is perfect. We've seen all these incredible advancements in the software, but what our deep dive today shows is that the real fight, the real bottleneck is now hardware. It's infrastructure.
And it's incredibly expensive.
Incredibly. And globally disruptive.
Yeah.
The stakes for you listening couldn't be higher.
Exactly. So our mission is to distill all this down into the crucial takeaways. We're going to start with just a stunning infrastructure commitment from Meta.
And from there, we'll look at Microsoft's new strategy to sort of manage the community friction that comes with that kind of scale.
And then we get to the payoff. An amazing biological discovery, an AI that's learning from a million species to rewrite the rules of medicine.
That whole journey, from the massive infrastructure down to the micro-level science, that's the key theme today. We'll also wrap up with a series of really crucial updates from across the AI landscape.
Yeah, everything from Apple's new Creator Studio to some big moves in encrypted AI assistants.
It's a packed agenda.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's unpack this compute war. Meta just officially unveiled something called Meta Compute.
It sounds simple enough.
Right. But this isn't just a project. It feels more like a complete reorientation of the whole company. The focus is now just one thing: making sure that scale is never, ever the blocker for their AI ambitions.
And they've put their infrastructure chief, Santosh Janardhan, in charge of it. He's co-leading with Daniel Gross, who, came from that AI safety startup, SSI.
What's critical here, I think, are the numbers. The sheer audacity of the numbers.
It's staggering. When we talk about scale, what are we actually saying? Meta is planning to add tens of gigawatts of capacity.
Just this decade.
With plans for hundreds of gigawatts over time.
And to put that in perspective for everyone, an average large nuclear power plant, a big one, generates about 1 gigawatt.
So this is like building dozens and eventually hundreds of new power stations just to run their models. It's a move that puts them in competition with, not just Google, but with entire countries, with national utilities.
And that number, that $600 billion commitment in U.S. infrastructure by 2028, that's not just a tech budget item.
No, that's a macroeconomic force. It's bigger than what many countries spend on their public works.
It makes you wonder, is this $600 billion move really about technology? Or is it more about securing regulatory control?
Yeah.
And access to, finite energy resources?
Sure.
They're basically forcing their way to the front of the line for power.
Oh, it absolutely is. And their recent actions, they really speak volumes about this. They've locked in long-term 20-year nuclear power agreements for their data centers.
20 years?
They're not just buying chips anymore, they're buying the grid. And look at the political moves they're making. They brought in Dina Powell-McCormick.
A former Trump national security official.
Exactly. As a newly appointed president, specifically to handle the massive government deals you need to finance and permit this kind of build-out, they know that getting permits for new energy infrastructure, that is the ultimate constraint right now.
It's smart. It's aggressive and maybe a little defensive, too. They just went on that massive talent poaching blitz over the summer.
Right.
They got all the best AI minds, and now they have to make sure the machinery, the actual compute, is powerful enough to keep those people and to keep them productive.
And we can't ignore the context we found in the sources here. This huge pivot is happening at the same time they're reportedly planning major layoffs in Reality Labs, their VR division.
Those cuts are expected this week, right?
This week. It's a huge signal about where they're putting their money. The future for Meta is AI compute power, and they are shedding anything that doesn't fit that vision.
So that massive build-out leads us right into our next big story. Because as Meta is hitting the accelerator, Microsoft is trying to pump the brakes on all the community friction their own expansion is causing.
Yeah, they've launched this community-first AI infrastructure plan. It's a massive public relations effort to become the good neighbor that, frankly, everyone is demanding maybe.
Because the backlash is real.
It's systemic. These data centers, they consume huge amounts of local resources, power and water, mainly, and that leads to residential energy costs going way up, environmental concern.
Which then triggers political scrutiny.
Exactly. So Microsoft is trying to get ahead of this with 3 very specific, very high-profile pledges.
Okay, so let's break down that first pledge, the one on electricity.
Yeah.
Because that's usually the biggest pain point for residents, right? They see their utility bills just spike.
It is. So they are pledging to ask utilities to charge the data centers rates that are high enough to cover the full cost of powering them.
So no more hidden subsidies.
That's the goal, to make sure that their consumption doesn't implicitly raise bills for everyone else in the community. It's a direct answer to politicians who've been saying tech companies need to pay their own way.
Okay, so that's power. What about water? These centers, especially the older ones, are just massive water sinks. They can pull from municipal drinking supplies for all their cooling.
Right, so here they're committing to a 40% reduction in what they call water use intensity by 2030. But the real solution is in the architecture of the new facilities.
How so?
The new centers are going to use closed-loop cooling systems. This means they just recycle water internally over and over, and they don't have to rely on local drinking water. It's a huge and, frankly, necessary shift.
And finally, the local economy part of it. Usually these companies get huge tax breaks to build in an area.
But Microsoft is flipping that script. They are pledging to pay their full property taxes, no special breaks. And on top of that, they're starting new programs to train local residents for the construction jobs needed to build these things.
So it's a pretty comprehensive effort to turn a source of tension into, well, an economic benefit for the community.
If they can execute on it, yes.
So we have this compute race defining the landscape, and we have the political resistance that's shaping how it all gets deployed.
Right.
Now let's look at the payoff, where all that raw processing power turns into just radical scientific progress. We're going from gigawatts to genomes.
This is truly phenomenal. It's one of the most exciting pieces of research we found. A UK startup called Basecamp Research, working with NVIDIA, has introduced a new AI model named Eden.
And the breakthrough isn't just the model itself. It's the data they trained it on.
Exactly. Eden learned from evolutionary data. We're talking about data from 1 million different species with DNA collected from 28 countries. It literally studied billions of years of nature's own solutions to problems.
Just think about that. Instead of a scientist in a lab trying to invent a biological solution from scratch, which is painstaking work,
The AI is looking at the ultimate engineering manual. Life itself. It's finding solutions that have already been tested and proven over millennia.
and the first result is a breakthrough in gene editing.
A huge one. The AI designed a totally new way to insert therapeutic DNA into cells without having to physically cut the genome.
Which is what current methods like CRISPR have to do.
Right, and that cut can be risky, it can have unintended consequences. Avoiding it is potentially much, much safer.
And the results so far?
Incredibly promising. In lab tests for really complex genetic diseases, things like muscular dystrophy and hemophilia, over 63% of the treatments that AI designed were functional.
Wow, that kind of hit rate for a new drug design is, it's exceptional. It could massively cut down R&D time.
And it's not just genetic diseases. They applied the same learning to the growing crisis of antibiotic-resistant infections. Eden created new antibiotic candidates, and get this, 97% of them worked against dangerous superbugs.
The ones that are resistant to our current drugs.
The very same. This just shows that the kind of compute power Meta is trying to build is already leading to fundamental leaps in human health.
The pace of discovery is clearly speeding up. Let's look at the rest of the ecosystem now. See how these themes of agentic power and enterprise adoption are playing out.
Okay, starting with the workplace. Slack has rolled out a completely rebuilt Slack bot. It's now a full AI agent.
This is for their Business Plus and Enterprise Plus customers.
Right. And the key thing is, this agent can find information across all your connected apps. It can draft emails, schedule meetings, all using the files and context you already have in Slack. It's all about seamless, embedded help.
And speaking of help, there's a growing focus on encryption and privacy. The engineer who created Signal Messenger just unveiled a new thing called Confer.
Confer is an open-source AI assistant built for maximum privacy. And how it achieves that privacy is what's really fascinating. It uses something called Trusted Execution Environments, or TEEs.
Okay, what's a T?
Think of it like a secure digital vault that's built right into the hardware of your own device. It means the decryption keys and your private data never, ever leave your machine, even when the AI is working on your request.
Interesting. Shifting gears a bit over to creative professionals. Apple unveiled a new subscription, Creator Studio.
Yeah, this bundles 6 of their Pro apps, like Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro, for about $13 a month. And it's getting a heavy dose of AI features starting this month.
What kind of features?
For video editors, there's a visual search in Final Cut Pro. You can just describe a scene you're looking for in your footage and it'll find it.
That's useful.
And for more typical office stuff, Keynote can now generate presentation drafts from a simple text outline. And Numbers is getting a magic fill feature for tables. It's AI moving right into the core creative and business tools.
And on the coding front, we're seeing this idea of agentic coding really being validated.
We are. Boris Cherny, the creator of Claude Code, just revealed that Anthropic's own new feature, Claude Cowork, was built entirely using their agentic coding tool.
And how long did it take?
A week and a half.
Wow.
It just proves that AI can rapidly build and iterate on its own features. And speaking of Anthropic, they've also launched Anthropic Labs, a new team led by Mike Krieger, the Instagram co-founder, focused just on rapid prototyping of new AI tools.
Meanwhile, in medical AI, Google is expanding its open source tools. They've updated Magema.
Right, it can now interpret complex scans like CTs and MRIs, which is a huge step for diagnostics. And they also released MedSSR, which is a speech-to-text tool that's specifically tailored for medical dictation.
And finally, we're seeing this adoption in really critical sectors. The Pentagon.
Yep. The U.S. Defense Secretary confirmed they are integrating xAI's Grok into military networks by the end of this month. It shows accelerating AI use is a massive priority for them.
And then there's McKinsey, the consulting giant. Their CEO said the firm now has 25,000 AI agents among its 60,000-person workforce.
And the plan is to pair every single consultant with at least one AI agent. The ratio of human to AI in these top-tier firms is getting very close to 1-to-1.
That gives us a really broad view. So let's quickly run through some of the specific tools that are really trending and getting a lot of buzz this week.
Okay, sounds good.
First up, we have Claude Cowork. This is the tool Anthropic is pushing. It lets you bring Claude's agentic capabilities, its ability to handle complex, multi-step tasks on its own right, into your normal, everyday work.
Next is Veo 3.1 from Google. This is their video AI. The latest version is getting a lot of praise for better consistency and for handling object references much more smoothly, and it's getting better at vertical video, which is huge for social media.
Then there's the upgraded Slack bot we just talked about. Slack's personal AI agent, focused on giving you context-aware answers and taking action right inside the platform you're already using all day.
We also saw Pane, which is an AI agent designed specifically for spreadsheets. It helps you create, analyze, and collaborate on data tables. It automates all those repetitive tasks that just eat up your day.
And if you ever deal with those annoying, non-editable PDFs, check out pdf.beauty. This tool takes static, image-based documents and transforms them into fully editable PowerPoint presentations. It makes lockdown information useful again.
Marketers are really looking at Muse. It's a tool that creates and manages ad campaigns across both Meta and Google. It uses AI optimization to handle all the complex bidding and targeting in real time.
And finally, for anyone who needs product shots, there's Reworks. It uses AI to instantly turn raw, basic snapshots of a product into professional 4K commercial assets. It just radically streamlines creating marketing images.
Looking back at everything we've covered, the one thread connecting all of it is just scale. The sheer financial and political commitment that it now takes to even compete in the AI race, like we see with Meta, is just staggering.
But the payoffs, like potentially solving antibiotic resistance or eliminating all that complexity from enterprise work, they're equally monumental.
They are. The immense pressure to build bigger is fundamentally tied to the breakthroughs that you can only achieve at that kind of scale.
It's a fascinating and really an unprecedented time. Strategic decisions made in Silicon Valley boardrooms are directly impacting global energy policy and breakthroughs in human longevity. This context, this knowledge is exactly what you need to navigate what's happening.
We hope this deep dive into the source material has given you the context and the insights you were looking for.
If this was valuable for you, please be sure to follow and share the deep dive. It helps others who need this knowledge edge. See you in the next